Good afternoon. It is currently 2:45 Eastern Time, the 25th of October, and I'm just going to recap my trading for today. So I'm going to go through my trades, why I got into the levels and where I got out, and explain why they were good trades. So I ended the day green today. Wasn't green from the beginning though. So my first entry today was this level here, 42, 42, 50, and going into the hourly, if you recall from a live video, I said I'm going to look to go long and get the bounce from yesterday's low. That's kind of where I was watching yesterday's low. I wanted to see a bounce off of that area. I'm looking at the 5-minute chart. This is the ES or the MES. This is the S&P index futures. So I went long as we touched that level, and as you can see it pushed down below it, came back up, and I was a little bit green for a few seconds, and then it came down, and I added just on that bottom wick there for a potential double bottom, but then it didn't, and I stopped myself out. So I then got in at the bottom of this supply zone or demand zone, 42.36, and it went immediately against me. I added down here, I think when I saw the bottom tail, this bottom tail, and it pulled back on me, and my target was really the VWAP, and it didn't. I was in profit at this point, good profit, but it came back and I stopped myself out. So a couple of stop outs to start the day. It wasn't ideal, and I was down a bit more than I wanted to be, so I was keeping an eye on the next level. My next level was the top of this demand zone, and you see it came in, and you had a couple of bottom tails. So when I saw this 2 bottom tails in a row, I couldn't resist not getting in. So when it pulled back, I got in on the brink, right at the bottom of there. It came down. That's my entry. My next entry was the break of this area. I think I was tagged in just there, and then I added again as we came back down to here. So I was in 6 contracts by this point, and the reason I had 6 contracts rather than the normal 3, because if you recall, I normally get 1, 2, 3, and then I look for it to break out and retest and add back in. But this time I just doubled up my size, and there's a reason for it, because I wanted to see how I would react to holding a runner if I had a bigger size. So at the moment, for example, yesterday, let's go back to yesterday's example. It's a good example. So yesterday I nailed the absolute top, and I got in short, I was short just there, and I had 3 contracts. I think it might have been 4 contracts, and so my first out was there, my second out was on the VWAP, my third out, so I was out of half by this point. My third out was around about here, I think it was, when I saw the double bottom, and my break even was here, and the distance from the break even point to the profit point was probably more than the profit I'd made on the ones I'd taken off here, and I don't like giving back all that profit for a break even, and so I trailed the stop, and as you can see, as I trailed it, I got whipped out, and then the biggest move was yet to come. And so I missed out on this entire move down. And so what I could have done instead of trailing the 5-minute candle, I could have just taken my stop. Maybe I should look to get back into a trade there, but I need to start using these pullbacks as areas to add to my trade, not areas to get out. I'm getting out at the worst place where all the stop hunting is, when I should really be adding to my trade, and even if it moves my stop even from there to there, or even use that as a natural stop once I've added, that's what I should be doing, but I don't. So today, I sized up, and I wanted to have 5 contracts to sell off here, and the last contract, the 6th contract, means I'm only leaving behind 1/6 of my trade as the runner. So I'm going to explain how I got on with that. So let's go back to today. So I was leaving this zone with 6 contracts. I took profit my first profit target was there, so I took off 1 contract, I took off a 2nd contract there, a 3rd and third contract was on the VWAP, and then we pulled back, and I didn't like this pullback, so I took off another contract down here, and then I got a bit nervous. I didn't like the fact we had this big red candle, and I trailed my stop, which, bear in mind, my break even was there. I put my last stop there, and as you can see, I just got whipped out by that one little candle, and so I was out of the trade. So that was a good trade. I made back everything I lost on this part of the trade, so I was at break even, but I'm still not using so that's the reason I sized up. That 6 contract, I just wanted it to run, and I could have easily got up to the 50 moving average, and whether I would have taken profit on that run, I don't know. My idea of a run is to leave it and let it run to the end of the day and see where we get. So maybe I could have I probably would have trailed it there. I probably would have got out there because I would have trailed it up, maybe. But that's fine. I was happy with the out. So now I was at break even. That made up for this side of the trade. But the best trade was yet to come. So I talked about a break and retest in the pre-market, and one of my favourite plays is the break and retest of the pre-market high or the pre-market low. And so today, I don't like it when the market comes in and next candle and there's no gap. I like to see an air gap. What I mean by that, I want to see come down, come all the way back up, and leave this big air gap there. I like a little bit of distance, because if it has to move further distance and pull back, you're going to get a bigger move down. Remember those comments, bigger move down. So I got in, again, I only got in with 2 contracts because I wasn't going to do what I did. I was a bit uncomfortable oversizing there and watching it just go sideways for a bit. So I got in with 2 contracts, potentially looking to add. So my entry point was about here, so 42.46 I think my average price was, roughly that area. And basically I saw these 2 topping tails and I got in when it came back up to that area. I think I got in once there and I added again for the pushback down. The reason I was confident was, if I just show you level 2, you might see it from earlier. So we had 42, I'm not sure, it's not easy to see on there, 42.45. No, it's not easy to see there, but anyway, on the level 2, there was a lot of big sellers up here, so it's quite heavy. It was very red on the level 2, and so it looked a bit like that. Also, it was the pre-market low. Also, we had the 50 moving average, and also it's at a level I predetermined as well. And we had a relatively good above average amount of volume in that area, congested volume. So I knew we probably weren't going to break this area, and my stop would have been immediately above those 2 wick candles and the 50 moving average. My stop was probably there, I think it was. So it came down. My first target, I only had 2 contracts, remember. My first target was low of the day, so that's great, got it perfectly. My next target, I was going to target the low of this area. I didn't really have a plan in place, and that's probably where my mistake was. So my average price for these 2 contracts was pretty good. So my first out was here, and I had all this unrealized profit left. And one thing I didn't want to do for it was, I didn't want it to come all the way back to break even and then stop me out. And so I've been trailing, as you saw from my previous trade yesterday, trailing the 5-minute pivots. So my stop was just there, and as you can see, I got whipped out and it rejected and came against me. So again, my stops was hunted. I think, I don't know how much space I can give, but I'm going to keep an eye on all these trades now and see whether I need to give more room. Maybe, here's an idea, and I think I might just go with this. I could probably look to play the fibs. If I put my stop on the 50% area, that's not a bad idea. Probably no coincidence, 50% is also the bottom of this zone as well. And maybe that's where I should put my stop, because the algos are not going to be up there, because that's where their own stops will be, or where they'll be purchasing more. But that's something I can think about, and I'm going to have a think about that tonight. But nonetheless, I still got stopped out, and I missed the rest of this move back down to 4200, and it went straight to my target, the one I had in mind. So what can I get out of this? Firstly, I'm happy that I got the meat of the move, So I like to see it as like a fish. That's the tail and that's the head. And the fisherman will cut off the tail, and he cut off the head, he discards that, and he keeps the meat of the move. And that's what I got, so I'm happy I got the meat of the move. However, it's not the real meat of the move. The real meat was this. So that's what I really want to be targeting. And I know it's a brilliant picture. Give him a happy face or sad face. That's what I want to get. This is the meat of the move. That's what I'm targeting. So how I move forward with this, I think potentially I could use the fibs as a stop area, or just go with it. Go with my if I break even, I break even. So be it, it's not a loss. I've already made money on the first half or the first 2/3 of the move, and just need to get over that mindset of not giving back profit, or it's okay to give back some profit because it's part of your play. One of the comments one of my fellow traders said today is, I've been pretty consistent at the system I've been using and pretty good at it. Why change it? And he's probably right. Why should I change this move and just keep trailing down? You know, I've got the meat of the move on that part, and this is a bit where maybe it's gone into, what's it now, 3 p.m. Yeah, market's about to close. Don't want to be sitting there all day watching the market trail down, even if it isn't for profit, and it would have been significant profit as well on the contract I had left. But is my time worth the profit? That's only I can decide. Anyway, on that note, I just want to just show you level 2 for a second on Bookmap, and show you level 2, which I was watching earlier. So I've not seen this for a while, and definitely I've seen this for a long time. But on the level 2, we had over 1,000 orders here, sitting at 4,200. And if you see that on the Bookmap, so on Bookmap, let's just change the colour back to red. We've got this big area here. At the moment there's 950, 942, or 947 orders. My pen's not working. Here we go. So this area here, and it's going to be a tough nut to crack open because I've never seen 1,000 orders. I've seen areas reject on 400, 500, 700 orders, and 1,000 limit orders sitting in that area. It's going to be difficult. You've seen it's tried once, it's tried twice, and it's still not broken. We've still got 951 orders, so we've not even touched this area. So whether we're seeing a potential bounce here in the last hour is probably likely. If you look at the chart as well, double bottom, and more interestingly the second bottom is slightly higher than the previous, so that's one of my plays I like playing, this double bottom entry there. I'm not trading today because I'm done with my trading, but this is a play I do like on a reversal. You see a lower low, and we've got this lower high. You can see if you look at the trend down, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. We still haven't broken the trend yet, and then a higher low. So this is the first sign of a reversal change. And a conservative entry, you know, if you want to get entry with confirmation, will be maybe a break and pull back to that area, and we're breaking this previous pivot, so this would be a good entry there. That confirms the change of trend as well. And don't forget, we're backed up by the massive amounts of orders at level 2 at 4,200, which is this level here. Bad line. This level here, so we haven't got anywhere near to that area yet, so we've got lots of sellers but buyers before there. And if you look now, we've got increase in volume as well. So increase in volume, that's what you want to see. So looking likely, it's like I said, it was still in a downtrend, so be very careful. You could take this as a scalp bottom with a runner to hold, but if you wanted to have a decent confirmed trade, then buying in as we break above and below that area is a place to watch. And by no coincidence, levels which are predetermined days and days ago are in play. So this area here, 4206, 4200, is a level if you go through any of my live pre-market videos, you see these levels have been in place since then. If you look at 42, 17, 25, that's another level we've had there for a few days as well. And I don't think there's any coincidence when the market comes down to these levels, comes up, look at that, it literally kisses the level, comes back down, touches the level again, and looking for a reversal. So, and that's the reason I play my levels, because my levels are pretty accurate. Or, you know, you can't go by the line, it's the zone you're watching. So when you get into a move, a bit like the one I did today, my level was at 42, 42.50. And I know on this area here I went long, and that's why I added, because it's an area to watch for, not a line in the sand. So, and that's why here I waited. I saw these two topping tails. I went short there. I went short up there as well. So I had a really decent price. I think my price was 42 or 44, 46 area. And again, I'm not looking at the actual line. I'm looking at the area. And same down here, we've got this area for potential bounce. And we've got this area here for potential break and retest. And these areas, they just work. And it's not magic. I don't just randomly put these lines in. If you go back, you can see that it's a significant area. We had a pivot, a previous pivot back in October the 23rd. And then I'm sure, if we go back even further, where's the price? Where are we? We are down here. Well, below what I thought. I don't think my 5-minute chart goes back that far, but on the hourly chart, 1 hour. It's definitely an area, because I wouldn't put these levels in just by one pivot. I'd like to see lots of areas in play. And we're at 40, here we go. So can you see? So this area I'm watching here, tops of candles, bottoms of candles. You know, it's like an average of candles as well. And bear in mind, when I take the levels, I don't precisely put them in place. I eyeball them, and you can see it's tops of candles here, tops of candles here. So it's an area of significance, and by no coincidence as well, we've got heavy congested volume in this area as well. So that's the area that's a bit lower down, but if I zoom into the areas we're looking for, you see the volume increases to where we are. So heavier volume there. There you go. We've got increased volume there. We've got a lull of volume there as well, and then volume tails off. We've got heavier volume, and that's why 41.50 is potentially a area to watch for if we do break the 4200 level, and that's purely because of the extra congested volume in that area. And it looks like we're going to come down and break it, and let's see what level 2 does. And if you want to see actual level 2, we can put that on as well at the same time. Let's move that, put that up. See, I use this book map as a visual representation of the level 2, but I generally keep my eye on this level 2. I'm going to let this video run for a bit. I'll see what happens when we get to that, when we get down to 4200. So what you should see is this level come down. If we're going to bounce, you see this level hold. So 4200 hold. You may see some orders decrement. Time in sales has not got up. You'll see lots of orders at 4200 coming, being sold or purchased. And where are we here? 40. Was it 962? 4200. So we're right down here. I mean, so we're quite some way off in this area. If we see it break down, great. If not, I'll stop the video. I don't want to drag this video out any longer than I already have. I do like to keep them short, but sometimes I go off on a tangent and try. But this is good. This is good to record this as well. Nice to see what level 2 does when we come down to a big level. So I'm going to keep recording, because then it might be something we can refer back to later. $7 away. Do you know what? I might pause the video right now, and if anything happens, I'll unpause it again, and if it doesn't, then I'll call this video the end, and I will see you tomorrow in the live video. Okay, thank you for watching, and if I'm back again in the next few seconds, then we've got down to 4200. Okay, thanks for watching. Okay, so we dropped down by a couple of dollars. We're at 42.06 now. back at the level. This is one of the levels which I predetermined in the pre-market, 42.06. It might just want to go sideways and sit around this level. We've got Powell speaking after market, so maybe the next hour might be the market waiting for Powell to speak. But a bounce is encouraging if we're starting to see bottom tails, hammer candles. So you can see on the chart at the moment, we've got a bottom tail here, an indecision candle, so it means, and that's on above average volume, and we've got this potential candle here, it's just a narrow range candle. In fact that indecision candle's on below average volume. I was looking at the wrong volume bar. So that means there's no commitment from anyone, just low volume compared to the previous candle. Okay, I want to pause it so you'd have to watch through this. I'm only recording this now for my own self so I can review it back later. I'll pause it, but if anything changes, then hopefully I'll catch it as we break through the 4200 or we bounce back up from it. I want this to be an educational where we can watch level 2, slow it down if we want to. We've got the actual level 2 coming in here. You see the orders sitting down at the bottom here, so we're quite low down. Pen open to the orders right down at the bottom, 4200. And I thought we might have got closer than we would have done already, but I've got a feeling we're just going to go sideways for a bit. So I'm going to stop this video. I'm going to record it personally for myself, and if it's any good I will upload this as well and share it in the Discord room. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I will see you in the live pre-market tomorrow where I'll go through the new levels for the day. Okay, thanks for watching.